What's up, Transformers fans? Welcome back to another Moonbase 84 transmission. I'm Mondo, the Dad Bottomus Prime, and today we're checking out the Transformers Age of the Primes Leader Class Big Convoy. Before we get into the video, I just wanted to quickly say that I am getting over being very sick, so my voice might sound goofier than usual. But I'm going to press on because I've been trying to get this Big Convoy review out for quite a while now. I really like how Big Convoy came out in Mammoth mode. Taking a closer look, I just love the fur textures and everything all about. He's how should I say it? The fur texture makes him woollier, a more woolly mammoth than the original, which had like the straight hair, like more of a straight hair. I'll put it up on the screen in the sculpt, but I like the shagginess of this one a bit more. Of course, the original had like different paint, you know, and a transition, a nice fade of like that goldish brown. But I really do like how this came out, and I also like how he has pupils. The original did not. He just had like the green eyes. Again, I'll put it up on screen. But yeah, besides that, besides looking good, he's pretty much a brick like a lot of Beast Wars figures. I forgive them for that in their beast modes because of, you know, what they're trying to accomplish. It's harder to design a robot turning into a beast and having the beast, you know, look perfect than it is like a car. But yeah, he's got the nice white tusks, and of course his trunk. He does have robot bits hanging out, and again, when it comes to Beast Formers, I do not gripe too much about that. And then there's the underneath. Articulation, like I said, he's kind of a brick. His ears do flap. You can swivel his tusks a little bit. His front legs can move just forward and back like that. Do like the hit of paint for his hooves. Toes, whatever you call them on an elephant or mammoth. And his trunk articulates there, goes in that section there and that section there a little bit. Oh, and then his tail. Yeah, his tail can wiggle a little bit. Not a bad mammoth mode. I really do like this mammoth mode. It came out rather nicely, and I just love, like, again, the pupils are much better than just the green that we had with the original. Now, besides the accessories that are hidden within the Mammoth mode, he does come with his little blaster. And what I thought was cool is they included the little missiles that the original came with, and they are much smaller than the original, but I thought that was cool. Now, you can store this blaster, but I already have him in Mammoth mode, and if he's already totally transformed up, it's hard to do. But you can store them, if you can see in here, in one of these ports. These I could not get to store. I try to keep them on, but during transformation, I try to keep them on where they go in robot mode, but during transformation, they pop off, and I've not yet found a place to store them. The instructions on this guy will say kind of stink in a lot of areas. So I just have them off to the side for now. But we'll get him transformed up into robot mode, and we will take a closer look at him in that mode. And here we have Big Convoy in robot mode, and he frustrates me. He frustrates the hell out of me, both warranted and unwarranted. So I'm going to explain to you why. So let's talk about the unwarranted part first. The unwarranted part is all of his kibble and stuff hanging off the back, which is very unwarranted because one of the first videos I did on the channel was of the original Big Convoy from Beast Wars Neo. And I've also said this in other Beast Wars reviews, that the kibble and stuff for Beast Wars, even though it can be frustrating, doesn't bother me too much, frustrations aside, because that's just, to use a pun, the nature of the beast. To get a realistic beast, you're going to have that kibble and stuff like that more times than not. So I don't know why for this new release it frustrates me more than, say, the original. If if Hasbro were to do something to try to clean up and engineer it, Hasbro or Takara, to engineer it to clean it up, then you would lose basically who Big Convoy is, because the original toy was so accurate to what we saw in Beast Wars Neo, the cartoon model. So there's nothing you can really do about that, and so that's unwarranted. I mean, it doesn't make me angry, it's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Now, for the things that do frustrate me, we'll get to that in a second, but first I want to take a closer look at Big Convoy himself. Now, appearance-wise, Big Convoy, they did a great job with this Big Convoy. They went the extra mile in several places to make him essentially as close to the original toy as they could, even with this accessories. But yeah, he looks really nice. He's not as shiny as the original, like in the eyes, but still really nice. And you've got all the, you know, the asymmetry on the shoulders and the reds and the whites and like the goldish paint. So yeah, really cool. Some silver. I will say the instructions for this Big Convoy, I believe, have the tusks here rotated like so, but I like to keep them like this, just like I do on the original, so you can see that nice detail up there. But yeah, we'll look at the back. We did real quickly, but yeah, he's got all the junk. Like I said, unwarranted frustration, especially as I've gone on record saying that I give a lot of Beast Wars toys a pass on that. So hypocritical there, but I don't know why. It just struck me with this release. Articulation wise, this head swivels, can look up only a tiny, down not so much. Arms can do just under a full T. They rotate. You get the 90-degree elbow. You get the wrist, but you also, which I thought was cool, is you get the butterfly, which is awesome. We've been getting more butterflies lately, it seems. Let's see. This is, once you go to the lower sections where your hands kind of get in the way, and that's the frustration I'm talking about. But he does have the waist. His leg, well, you can move his mammoth leg out of the way to get almost a full T. He's got the bicep, and he's got just under 90 for the knee. And then he has ankle tilt, nothing forward or back. So yeah, really nice articulation. Even when you just got to move things to manage it. I do think Hasbro did a fantastic job accessory-wise. We basically get everything we got with the original release. I think I already showed this in Mammoth mode, but you get his blaster, which of course he can hold. And you also get tiny little, I think I showed this too, missiles. Of course they don't fire, but it's cool that they included these. So it mimics like what we got with the original ones. But they do store. You can port them in here on his thigh or shin. They're very tight, but they do store in there, so that's pretty cool, just like where the launchers were on the original. And another thing, and that's not it, they actually even gave him, if I can remember how to open this, because I don't really, oh, there we go, and I can get it out. They gave him his tonfas on both arms, so that's pretty cool. I mean, they try to make this as close to the original toy as possible in many areas, except for what we're going to talk about next. And taking a look at the big cannon, this is where, to me, my warranted frustration comes in. Because, you know, here it is. Of course, it's his, well, it's part of his mammoth butt and his trunk. It's just the top of the mammoth, basically. Really cool, nice sculpt in there. You can swivel these around however you so choose, but that's not the frustration. It does add more junk, but again, I'm getting over that frustration part because that's how the design of Big Convoy is. So I just got to get over that part. But the warranted frustration is this. Get it here. It'll plug in. Oh, so now it's gonna, nope, it's starting to. Oh, no, hang on a minute, I will get it all lined up. Okay, I don't know if it's because I'm doing a video about him or what, but now my warranted frustration is gone, because I swear I've had this guy for a while. As I said at the top of the video, I was feeling very under the weather. It took like 2 weeks to totally get better. I was really sick for a while, but I've had him for a while, and when I first took him out and was playing with him, He could not hold his big cannon by himself, and that was my warranted frustration. So what they, and I thought because Hasbro knew this, they included, let's take this out here, give me big Convoy. They included this extra piece where I always just move these all around there, but they included, oh, you gotta, this doesn't clear first, this, which would make it prop up the big cannon so you see it. So when he couldn't hold it, you know, just to stabilize it. And I was like, okay, the unwarranted frustrations as this video goes on, I think about it, talk about it more, are gone. But this warranted frustration is now gone because I was thinking originally, because this figure, I actually could not, the same figure, get him to hold it, this big cannon, without this brace. Now that I'm doing the video, he holds it without the brace, and my frustration was, you've got a modern figure, you could have at least worked in where maybe he had a ratchet or something, you know, strong ratchet, so he could hold this without just adding this. But apparently that's gone, so my bad. And here's the new Age of the Primes leader big convoy with the Beast Wars Neo convoy. And as you can see, they tried their best to get it as close to the original, if you can see through the big cannons. But yeah, like this one has some more clear plastic, like it's like candy red, and like I like how the whites are kind of muted and toned down. I do like the muted toned down whites, and so it's where it's like a cream as opposed to the bright white. But still, I think overall they did a really good job with you know, updating this figure under their current budgets and stuff. Yes, he's a little undersized, and I do just love this shiny paint a bit more, you know, a lot more on the original. But yeah, this one still looks cool. And I also want to add that you can store the big cannon on the back. I didn't do that because, like I said, I forgive the frustrations that come with some of the a lot of the Beast Wars toys, and even some of the Beast Wars Neo toys, but messing around with this big cannon to store it on the back, it's just too frustrating. It was frustrating on this figure. I don't even do it. But you can do it if you choose to do it. So that is my look at the Transformers Age of the Primes Leader Class Convoy. And we're going to do the form, function, and fun. And it's going to be a lot different than when I first started this video because of my pleasant surprise. So we start to do the 3 F's. Form. I had already said that I really do like his mammoth mode. Looks really cool. Robot mode, as I said, I'm getting over it. I think I was just nitpicking the frustrations of all of the kibble, which I knew was going to be the case because I was upset with this. But so form, he looks like a really nice updated version of Big Convoy. Could he be a bigger convoy? Yes, but that's where we're at now. So form, for what he's supposed to be and everything like that, I am going to give him a solid A. I mean, he's a nice update of the Big Convoy toy. Function, just like the original Big Convoy toy, you know, he's a little bit of a pain in the butt to transform, but not as bad as a lot of other Beast Wars toys. You know, some other Beast Wars toys. I shouldn't say a lot of other. And all of his stuff does get in the way and is cumbersome. I will also say on mine, due to like his ports and you know, in his fists, they're tight, so it is a pain to get that big cannon in his hand a little bit. So for function, just because there's so much stuff and so much clutter, and I would say this with the original too, I'm gonna give him like a B minus. I think that's being generous. I mean, I love Big Convoy, but there's just too much stuff, so function has to take some kind of hit. So I think I'm being generous with a B or B minus. Fun, again, please get what I'm saying, that I love the Big Convoy character, and I do enjoy the Big Convoy original figure, and I'm enjoying this much better. But again, all the stuff in the way, even though he looks and has everything, you know, he's supposed to have from the show and everything, the frustration of getting everything, you know, this hot mess to do things, especially when you have the big cannon, is an exercise in frustration. So even though I like the figure, I would say the fun when messing with this figure, I hate to say it, but I think like a C+ or a B- as well. Just once you get there, he can look cool, but just messing with this stuff isn't always the best time. I mean, stuff gets in the way, hits each other. But again, I do like this big Convoy figure, but I want to try to be as honest as possible. And also, I almost forgot, his chest does open, and he does have a removable matrix, just like the original. So, my gripes and my lower scores aside, I still really like him. I just wanted to try to be honest, because he isn't without frustration. If he couldn't hold his big cannon, like I discovered for some weird reason, because we're on camera, he can now, which is great. I'm not complaining about that. But if he couldn't, then he would have gotten an even lower grade for function, and took a hit with fun. But because he can, that kind of saved it, kept the grade at like a, what I say, C. I'll say C+. I said, what did I say, B- or C? Maybe a C+, just because all this stuff is a pain to work around with. But that being said, again, I do like the figure. Comment and let me know what you think of this big Convoy. And as always, thanks for docking.